Welcome back. This is part 2C of lecture 4. We're going to do two things in this part. We're going to look at the generic business strategy focus, which you can apply both to cost and to differentiation. And then we're also going to look at the integrated cost leadership differentiation strategy. When we talked about cost leadership and when we talked about differentiation before, we were talking about mass markets, large markets. In the focus strategy, what we're doing is we're looking at actions designed to produce or deliver services that serve the needs of a particular competitive segment. So one part of the market rather than a mass market. So that could be for particular buyers, particular buyer groups such as youth, senior citizens. It could be for a particular type of product line, the difference between a professional product and a do-it-yourself product. It could be for a range of other areas like geographical markets, and you might concentrate on different markets in different ways. The types of strategies that we can look at are focused cost leadership strategy, which is focusing on a niche of the market, a small part of the market, using a cost leadership strategy, or focused differentiation strategy, which is focusing on using differentiation strategy on a niche of the market. To implement a focus strategy, you have to be able to compete on various primary support value chain activities in a competitively superior manner. That gives you a competitive advantage and above average returns just in the niche that you are operating in, the small part of the market you're operating in. That can be because competitors have overlooked a particular type of customer or a particular type of geographical area or a particular type of profession or non-profession, a particular type of client, an area that's overlooked. Alternatively, it can be because the firm just doesn't have the ability to compete in the mass market. So it doesn't have the resources to compete in the mass market. So it picks an area that it can be competitive against a sector-wide or industry-wide organization and focuses on that area. What are the risks? Well, the risks of a focus strategy is that you may be out-focused by your competitors. A firm competing in the industry-wide market, a large firm may decide to develop its own niche product or niche operation to compete in the same area that you're competing in. Or customer preferences in the niche market may change over time to resemble the preferences of the broader market, and you lose your ability to compete. When we look at an example of this, the example I'm using is focused differentiation, and the example for focused differentiation is Supreme. Supreme is a surfwear brand that somehow manages to sell things at 10 or 20 times the price of its competitors in particular areas, and it uses a range of strategies to create a focused, differentiated position that gives it the appearance that it is unique in some way. Part of that's brand, but there's a pile of other things that it does. Watch that video after we complete this part of the lecture, and that will give you some ideas of ways that a focused, differentiated company might operate. But we can also think of focused differentiation as firms like Cartier or Dolce & Gabbana. Niche products, incredibly high price, because of the way they deal with their brand and their image. Integrated cost leadership and differentiation is one of the combined strategy. It's the main combined strategy in Porter's business strategies. Integrated cost leadership and differentiation draws from both cost and differentiation to create a unique product, but by reducing, but also concentrating on having low cost production. So you need to, for a firm to successfully use that type of strategy, they need to be able to adapt quickly to the changing environment because they're trying to meet both the differentiated environment and changes in the cost. They need to have the ability to learn new skills quickly, but also to apply those learned skills in more than one way. And they need to draw on core competencies and therefore set their value up, chain up to draw on core competencies so that they are both doing things that reduce the cost base, but also lead them to having a differentiated product. So they need effectively to utilize two sets of core competencies simultaneously. One way to do that, one of the reasons this has emerged is because of the development of flexible manufacturing. Often cost in the past has been driven by size, by mass production, by economies of scale, by right sizing. And differentiation has been driven by branding. But because of the way that technology has entered the marketplace, the manufacturing marketplace, the services marketplace, you end up with a situation where you get effectively mass customization. Flexible management systems, TQM systems, information networks enable you to produce a product and change the production of that product without dramatically increasing the price. So if we think about televisions, for televisions they used to have to produce multiple different versions of the television in different countries because there were a range of different broadcast systems. There still is a range of different broadcast systems, but the technology of manufacturing now means that they can just, instead of having to have physical parts different, they have just a chip that does it all. Similarly, it used to be that you had to reset and retool production lines. But now you can have multiple productions, mass productions and differentiated productions of flexible manufacturing. And one of the videos we'll put up shortly is the manufacturing of the Mini Electric, which is manufactured on the same production line that manufactures every other Mini. So they're able to use flexible manufacturing to reduce the cost of this electric vehicle so it will sell as effectively the same price as the differentiated Mini, the standard Mini. Flexible manufacturing systems eliminate the low cost versus wide product variety trade-off and allow firms to produce a large variety of products at relatively low costs. The information networks link companies to its distributors, reducing its distribution and its customer relationship management costs, improving its customer relationships, and maintaining product quality through the information and monitoring that it has. It also means that you can be more efficient in the information flow in your organisation and in managing your organisation and in managing the relationship that you have with your suppliers and your distributors if you have an effective, efficient management information system. And we've seen the emergence of enterprise-wide planning, enterprise resource planning as a way to do this, though there have been some organisations that have been challenged by that process. Total quality management is about data-driven problem-solving approaches that move the decision-making for the problem to deal with problems down to the level where it's occurring, to enable groups of teams and groups of employees to work in teams and groups, therefore improve quality in a rapid and effective way. The key benefits of TQM are that you meet and exceed customer expectations, you drive out inefficiencies and waste because people recognise them, you can make continuous improvements throughout the firm, therefore continuously improving the product, reducing cost, reducing time to market for innovation. The emergence of fast fashion is an example of that, and that's one of the examples that I'm going to show you about that type of response. But TQM is across the board in manufacturing. What are the competitive risks of doing this strategy? Well, the key competitive risk is that it used to be called stuck in the middle. You were neither the lowest cost, you were not the most differentiated, you became stuck in the middle. It's a strategy where you can very easily slip away from commitment to one or the other, and or you end up with frustration of your implementation and possibly frustration of the staff implementing So you need a strong commitment from above, because if you lack commitment from the management, it won't happen. You need a great deal of expertise because you're following two strategies at once. And the result of being stuck in the middle can lead you to lower than average returns and competitive disadvantage. But there are many firms now following this strategy, and there are many advantages and examples of them following this strategy. The sample that we're going to give you, the video to watch related to that, is Forever 21, which was following that strategy, and then because of a series of poor management decisions that worked against the integrated strategy and competitors' better use of their value chain, they've ended up going into receivership, still surviving, but no longer being the dominant firm that they once were. The Forever 21 video will also be revisited when we talk about international strategy later in the course. Okay, so that's the end of part C. So what we've done in the lecture is we've defined business level strategy. We've discussed the relationship between customers and business level strategies in terms of who, what, and how. We've explained the differences among business level strategies by first identifying the generic strategies and the 5 strategies that arise from those generic strategies, and then discussing those generic strategies, how you implement them through changes in the value chain. And then we've looked at how they protect you from the 5 forces, and we've looked at the risks of each business level strategy and provided examples throughout. There are those additional videos to watch as examples, and if you look at your task for next week, what we want you to do is find other companies that you can use as an example for each of those 5 business level strategies, post them to the forum, come along to class ready to discuss them. I'll see you in the workshop. Stay safe online.